May 12th, 9:34 a.m. High Court of Crane. Accused lobby. Maya looks exhausted, but I can't blame her. Nick, I was thinking about it all day yesterday. I never properly asked you to defend me, did I? It doesn't matter. I'm on this case till the bitter end. I know. That's why I wanted to officially ask you for your help. You got it, Maya. Let's do this. We gotta wrap this up and get back home so you can make your dream show come true. The Steel Samurai versus the Plume Punisher, right? You bet. You look as if you did not sleep last night, Bobbed Head. It is written all over your face. How can you expect to put up a respectable defense like that? I'm all fired up and raring to go. I guess Maya's not the only one looking exhausted. Rayfa doesn't seem in the best spirits herself. Go ahead, feign confidence now while you're still able. For I will see to it that your last rites are read to you this day. Guess it was just my imagination. Ready, Nick? Okay, Maya, let's head on in. Oh boy. May 12th, High Court of Crane.
Now then, if everyone is ready...
The defense is ready, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay.
Oh, no prayers this time, Prosecutor Sadwadi.
I already offered my prayers for the latest victim during my visit to the crime scene. Being that the accused has already been found guilty of the first murder, let us hasten this trial so we may put this dead lawyer walking out of his misery.
I could not agree more. In yesterday's trial, the accused was already found guilty of murdering the High Priest. And today she will be tried for the murder of his disciple, Puhray Zeh'lot. Now then, Prosecutor Sadwadi, your opening statement, if you would.
Certainly. The accused has now slain two of the most devout clergymen in Kurnism. Even the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling, would not be punishment enough.
Go. Then, what terrible fate awaits her?
Bal Gilpo Con Hell, a realm of eternal agony. There she will suffer the endless punishment of Jagar by the Galuna Pol Moten. Furthermore, Guljam... Enough!
My blood runs cold at the mere thought that such a terrible place exists.
I was going to ask for a translation, but on second thought, ignorance is bliss.
Now then, please continue, minus the part about the terrible hell awaiting the accused.
As you wish. The victim of this heinous crime was the High Priest's disciple, Puhray Zeh'lot. He had been trading under the High Priest while living at the priest's home.
I had met him a number of times, and he seemed like an earnest young man. How tragic that he met such a terrible end.
The murder occurred at the Plaza of Devotion, during the purification rite. It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer. The war-bought dagger was found impaled in the victim's upper back. The stabbing caused a spinal cord injury that killed him instantly.
Oh, the war-bought dagger, Lady Kira's weapon of choice.
We have already established that the accused prints were on the weapon. Incredibly damning evidence in itself. No, I didn't do it! Hold your tongue. Now, being that the accused Maya Fey is a serial killer, the prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence.
What the defense got to respond?
The accused is innocent, and nothing can convince me otherwise. After all, the crime scene was packed with worshippers. How could my client possibly have committed this murder without a single witness? The accused's fingerprints on the murder weapon alone is enough to render a verdict. As such, I see no need to debate this any further. But...
Well, once her benevolence conducts her seance, it will be clear for all to see.
Your Majesty, might I have a word?
Is something the matter, Particular Zadmadi?
It is about the Divination Séance.
Your benevolence!
Stop right there, Prosecutor Sadmadi. As you wish. Forgive me for overstepping my bounds. What was that all about? Is the seance gonna show something that is not that incriminating? Bob Dead, have you made peace with your fate? For this time, the Divination Séance will bring you to your knees. I'm ready, and I accept your challenge. The only problem is, I have no weapons at my disposal. Our only hope now is what we can glean from the Seance vision and Rayfa's insights.
Very well. The Divination Séance, if you please, your benevolence.
Yes. Let us begin. Nina?
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
You. Where'd everyone go? Alright, here we go. Oh, wait. His last vision is just gonna be him staring at the ground, isn't it? I just fucking realized. If he was praying the whole time while he was murdered, then what are we gonna glean from any of this? Fuck. I don't get it. Why wasn't there anything to see?
Your benevolence? What in the world?
I was unable to evoke any sort of response. I called out the spirit's name many times, but to no avail. Oh, it's not his real name. Just as I thought. Wait, what does he know that we don't? I had sought to confirm the contents of today's Divination Séance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand. Come to think of it, I must go perform a divination séance for Puhray Zeh'lot. It is our custom for the prosecution to review its contents before a trial begins. And that is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it had to be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice.
It would appear her benevolence is tired from her manifold duties.
I'm not anything of the sort. The victim's spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth through the divination séance. Rayfa.
What are we to do without a divination séance?
I suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. I am fully capable of proving the accused's guilt, with or without a divination séance.
Ho 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 ho! You never fail to impress, Prosecutor Todmati.
This is bad. The divination séance is my one and only hope. Your Majesty, her benevolence said she isn't tired, so shouldn't we try to find out why the divination séance failed?
How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination séance?
Yes, explain yourself. The divination séance is for shedding light on an accused's crimes. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it. I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination séance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent. The truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick? Maya, please, you're not helping. How dare you? The voice of a Mitama is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you. Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-arguments without the seance?
No, of course not. He saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination séance happen or we're toast.
Well, since the divination séance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let us proceed with the trial without the séance, as Prosecutor Todmati suggested.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Why, I will not forget this, Bobhead. This will not be the last you see of me. Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand.
Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin.
Sorry, Mr. Wright.
Detective Sky, I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They are your friends, after all. But you must let them go and move on.
But...
There's only one way to save them now, by giving their souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames.
Oh, I can't do this.
Ah, now you take the Sacred Hall of Justice.
Miss Sky. Yes? Don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. I'm sure Nick will figure something out. Eventually. Right. Thanks, Miss Fey.
How very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective. Detective Sky, please proceed.
Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case.
Overview of the second murder.
Lay's victim was Puhray Zeh'lot. He had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest.
I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Would the defense care to respond?
I didn't spot any inconsistencies in her testimony so far, and I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I gonna do now? What is it, Mai? I was just wondering about how much the police actually looked into Acolyte Zeh'lot. Because it just might prove to be the key as to why the Divination Séance failed. What are you getting at? Well, it's just a hunch. Wait a second. During my investigation, Rayfa told me about how the Divination Séance works. If I could figure out why it failed, maybe she could try it again. Okay, time to press for some more information. There we go.
Lee's victim was Puhray Zeh'lot.
What kind of person was Acolyte Zeh'lot?
According to the neighbors and others who knew him, he was a deeply devout youth.
I too have heard his name mentioned as one who was a fervent practitioner. I suppose you might say he was the High Priest's star disciple.
Furthermore, he had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years.
2 years? Are you sure about that?
We took statements from his neighbors and his fellow monks. They all corroborate our initial findings.
What about you, Mai?
Well, when I first came here, I saw Zeh'lot praying under the High Priest's instruction.
I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out.
The High Priest's widow, believe in me, has identified the victim's body.
Was Mrs. Imi's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim?
Huh? Well, no. We also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry. But
what?
his personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced.
Maybe that's why the divination séance failed.
I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright.
Here's what I'm thinking. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess uses a deceased's face and true name to summon their spirit. Why, yes, that is indeed true. If he was using a forged ID and there's no mention of him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here at Khura'in. An illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rayfa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday.
But if that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. We'll have to proceed without holding a divination séance this time.
I had always thought that Acolyte Zeh'lot was Khura'inese. Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony?
I don't see why not. This is an important fact. Please add it to the testimony.
It would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense, but if you insist, Dr. Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony.
Yes, Your Majesty. He was an illegal immigrant, so we don't know his real name.
Isn't there some way to track down his real name?
No, not if he was an illegal immigrant.
Have you actually confirmed that he was in Khura'in illegally?
Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence, but there's also no evidence of him being a citizen of Khura'in either.
Oh boy, now what do we do?
What if there was a clue in the evidence you gathered?
That's probably our only hope at this point. If he really was an illegal immigrant, our proverbial goose is probably cooked.
He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest.
Maya isn't that Lady Kira who's been going around capturing rebels?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but...
That verdict was already handed down in the previous trial. It is no longer a point of dispute, and I will not allow you to make it so. But no ifs, and most of all, no buts. The accused was posing as Lady Kira, and she killed Acolyte Zeh'lot because she mistakenly believed him to be a rebel.
That's not true. I'm sorry. The verdict has already been read in that case. I have to assume that it's fact now. Now what do we do?
Now I know why the divination sounds failed, but
Nothing's really... nothing's really changed.
yeah, which means we're in big trouble.
If he really was an illegal immigrant, it's gonna be real hard to find out his real name.
I guess our only choice is to give up on the whole divination seance thing. If only there was some way to find out the victim's real name. Something about illegal immigrants. Didn't Mrs. Immy say that? I don't know that her husband found him in the woods or something and took him in. Priests were... Oh. We can figure out... Oh. Okay. Is the tattoo like something... All members of Kurna's clergy somewhere... Bodies. Okay. Dishes made with ginjil. Dishes are only prepared during the feast, starts at noon, the day before the rites. Okay. Alright, I'm thinking either the I think it's too early. It's too early to present the theory that Puhray Zeh'lot is Lady Kira, so right now we just present the photo with the peach tattoo, I guess? Sure.
Objection!
Okay. Sorry, Detective Sky, but the police missed something important in their investigation.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The victim was undeniably a Kuranese native, and this crime scene photo proves it.
It does?
It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was Kuranese.
Where? I don't see anything that would prove that.
This proves the victim was Kuranese.
Take that!
Look at this tattoo right here.
What, that's a tattoo of a peach?
I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo.
Oh, the victim really liked peaches?
Well, peaches are a favorite delicacy here in Ukraine.
They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself.
Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches.
After the trial, Maya, right now we have bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach.
It is not a peach, you say? Then what is it?
Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Namely, the tattoo on the High Priest's brow?
Oh my!
What? This mark is only borne by members of the Kuranese clergy. So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes? Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark all Kuranese clergy bear.
Hey, you're right.
Till about 20-some odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my right buttock.
That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot.
I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits.
That will not be necessary if you seek information on the clergy. I have it all right here. Oh my, you never cease to amaze! So, tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill? There is just one, and his name is Real Nemo. He became a monk 20 years ago. But isn't the victim like 32 or whatever? And that must be the victim's real name. Isn't he like... He's 21. What? How... But why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one? Yeah, there must have been some reason.
Nick, that's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name.
You're right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the Divination Séance might finally work. A lawyer who willingly seeks a séance. This is entirely unprecedented. Huh. You are but digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know that until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. Very well. Let the Divination Séance be held once more.
Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination séance be held once more? You are a fool, Bobtail, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. For with the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise.
Bring it on, Princess.
Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights. You will regret ever thinking you could use my sacred insights as evidence.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination séance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Okay. We're really gonna do this again, huh? Alright. Cool. But I'm pretty sure that's just gonna be him looking at the ground. Unless... Yep. Gingil. Plume Punisher theme. What? Heavy. Pain. Pain. Oh my! It is just as Mr. Wright surmised. Puhray Zeh'lot wasn't the victim's true name. And now at last we have seen the victim's final moments.
All we could see was the ground. You seem terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your infamous turnabouts? I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused's guilt. You did?
A most surprising surprise attack. So, tell us, Pascal buddy, what is this conclusive evidence you have found?
The Plume Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It was confiscated from the accused during her interrogation. Hey, that's my Plume Punisher strap. When you press the magatama on the Plume Punisher's belt... Ah! It seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item. Is it not, Miss Fay? You better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world. Wait out! It is just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down on you. She sure seems to be enjoying this. Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before either. It is time to accept the fact that the Divination Séance is far more than mere evidence. It is the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused.
That is as conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, if there are no further objections...
Objection!
Slow down there, Your Majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument.
What's this? Do you take issue with the Divination Séance?
Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. But that's never stopped me before. The Divination Séance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly. Grr, you do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I am the only one who speaks for the Matama of the deceased. If you believe there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it. Alright. Not a problem. The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Then, someone was there, and the theme to the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant, he departed from this world. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I'll just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations very carefully. Is it going to be the fact that the smell of ginger didn't grow any stronger? Maybe. Let me read the statement again. The family photo is taken during the Feast of Blessings, where it's customary to partake in dishes made with ginger. These dishes are only prepared during the feast, which starts at noon on the day before the rite and must be finished by 3 p.m. the same day. Alright, it's not conclusive, but we'll give it a go.
Objection!
Your benevolence, isn't the statement inconsistent with the vision? Inconsistent? I think not. Exactly. That's where the inconsistency lies.
No, I believe it is in the vessel's thought process that the inconsistency lies.
Or guess there wasn't an inconsistency there after all. Okay, never mind. What else can we tackle here? Plume Punisher theme, heavy pain. Oh. Is it just the fact that it wasn't instant? I mean, it's kind of instant, no? This is the Night of the Right. Spinal cord injury of being stabbed in the upper back. I mean, upper back, neck. It's probably the same thing, right? I mean, we have the photo. Okay, but I mean, even if it's the upper back and not the neck, how can we prove that in the insight? That's not possible, is it? So we can't present evidence here. Peach-shaped tattoo. Nice statement. One kind of strap plays the Pill Pusher theme when the Megatalon and the bell is pressed. Tomb of Secrets. Victim was offering up his prayers. His neck was held. The victim was held down, plunged the knife into his neck. Blade struck true. In that instant, he departed from this world. I mean, it's instant-ish. I don't know. Is that really the ground we're gonna... Is this gonna be the hill that we're gonna die on? That he didn't die, like, instantly? It took him, like, a second until his eyes were closed? Victim was offering up his prayers. It's the Night of the Right. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Yeah, that looks to be the same, right? Same as the ground. Sure. Soba was there. The thief to the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. Blade struck true, and that instant he departed from this world. Yeah, that's hers, alright. Is there something about the ritual that says don't bring any of your personal items with you or something? Could probably use that. Inner sanctum diagram. Could it be that that he heard the Steel Samurai theme instead? Plume Punisher theme. Jinjil. I mean, he ate with them, didn't he? Is he not allowed to eat the Jinjil? Partake in dishes made with Jinjil. Prepared during the feast, which start at noon. Must be finished by 3 p.m. the same day. Okay. The day before the rite. Namanda flower, warbad dagger. Weapon is thought to be the warbad dagger, the same weapon used to kill the high priest. Time of death to 4 and 5 a.m. Okay. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Okay, is there something wrong with that statement? I don't know. I don't see how the ground can be so visible, even at dark. It's not like there were lanterns there, or torches. So... is there something wrong with the pattern? His hands? Is there something in his hands that was supposed to be there that isn't there? I don't know. Plume Punisher theme, heavy, pain. Yeah, I don't get it.
Objection!
Huh. Okay. We gotta stop looking at the... oh, here we go. Give us a helping hand here. Sure looks like you could use my help, Nick. Yes, please. Well, you know how the victim smelled Jinjil? That sensation just seemed out of place. The smell of Jinjil, huh? Thanks, Maya. Okay, time to check the seance vision again. The fuck? That's the first thing I did. What about the Jinjil? The night of the rite, though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza ground was visible. Someone was there. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Was the smell of Jinjil supposed to go away by night?
Objection!
What the fuck? Was it really the night of the rite? What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zeh'lot after killing the High Priest during the purification rite. The only problem is that the deceased spirit does not corroborate that. What's this? Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says ginger? Acolyte Zeh'lot shouldn't have smelled any ginger on the night of the rite.
What do you mean?
Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled ginger on the night of the rite.
Take that!
The High Priest's wife, believe in me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of ginger-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time the day before the rite.
Why, I believe you're right. I'd completely forgotten about that.
During the feast, the unique smell of ginger pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelt it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite. Huh, I'm not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite. Oh, right. I told her about that yesterday. Forgive me, Your Benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change. What's this? Like, if a body was kept cold, the slowed rate of decay makes the death seem more recent.
Why, I believe I have heard something of the sort before. Maybe this as Mr. Wright claims. The estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised.
Sure. Excuse me? Can't say that. Bobhead, you blinded me with science! Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for? Huh. No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. The victim was offering Miss Ferris. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. The blade struck through, and in that instant he departed from this world. The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. The heck? A change in the time of death is bound to cause some sort of an inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was like on that day, it could really help. Right.
Objection!
The change in the date and time of the crime has caused a new inconsistency to surface. What's this? Oh, you are making that irritating face again. Seize it at once. Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now, let's focus on what is important. What the victim saw in his final moments. Do we have bats in the belfry, Bobhead? There's nothing to see. The ground at the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes. And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the rite, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground.
Impossible, you say? Do explain.
This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day.
Take that!
This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size, but huge in importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the rite. What? But...
The victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground.
Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments? If you have something to say, then say it. The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere. What? Whoa.
Whoa. What? Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed?
Yes, tell us where. Otherwise, your argument is worthless.
About that. Oh, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Any ideas, Maya? Let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right? Yep, there it is. Right, but where could that be? What is it, Bobhead? Giving up already? Not at all. Now, where have I seen something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed. The secret hideout the rebels were using. The rebel hideout? There was no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber. You're absolutely right. There is no place on the floor anyway.
Then what did the victim see in his final moments, if not the floor of the rebel hideout?
This is what the victim saw in his final moments. The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab. That does agree with the Seance vision. However, one cannot definitely declare they are one and the same.
I concur. There is no proof that the murder occurred in the rebel hideout.
Indeed. What evidence do you have of this? I've already shown you the evidence.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the result of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of that stone slab.
Is it true?
This information has already been provided to the police.
Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong?
Oh, we thought it was the High Priest blood that flowed in from the outside, so we haven't tested it yet.
Then you must do so at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please.
The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Puhray Zeh'lot, just like the defense claimed.
Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There I will deliver a joyous sermon unto you for 8 hours straight.
I'm really sorry, but please, anything but that.
Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for.
Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this, Emma, but
Go for it. It's full speed ahead.
the victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So when we thought we saw Acolyte Zeh'lot praying during the rite, he was already dead. And that's not all. If he was killed at the inner sanctum, that would explain one more thing.
That would be?
How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. What? I don't... What? If he was killed at the inner sanctum, that would explain one more thing. How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the sanctum. At the sanctum. At the sanctum. Oh, what? Was he buried in snow?
Why, these are photos of the inner sanctum.
I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. Do you see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed. The time was mistaken, and the place too. And just what do you believe that proves? That my client is innocent. What of her fingerprints on the dagger, and the plume punisher theme the victim heard? You have failed to address these two key pieces of evidence.
I see your point.
So this your big chance, Nick? I'm really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Actually, that might be possible. At least for one of them. Really? What's this? You say you can contradict our argument for a key piece of evidence? Very well, let us see you try. Nick, take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. I know. Oh! The defense can invalidate this piece of evidence. The Plume Punisher theme. And how do you intend to support such a claim? Since the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there is something there that played this theme song, other than my client's strap.
It wasn't a strap. It's true.
The item that played the Plume Punisher theme song was... this. This is a Plume Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm go off. What proof do you have that the alarm went off? What proof do you have it didn't? What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song? Do not twist the facts with your lordly wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here is what really happened. It's Lady Kira's dagger. Of course, she would have her fingerprints on it. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world. Though there have been some twists and turns, that is the truth of what happened. I won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger.
Most impressive, your benevolence. I see no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case.
No, there is one.
What is? You still claim there to be an inconsistency?
Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same. Okay, victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Someone was there, and the theme to the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused plunged her knife into the defenseless victim's neck. Blade struck true, and that instant he departed from this world. Shit. Now what? Someone was there. The theme to the Plume Punisher filled the air. Okay. First thing I'm thinking of is that if someone else came into the hideout, then he would have heard the door moving, right? But I don't know. Can we present the fact that something was not heard? I don't know about that. Yeah, we gotta stop relying on evidence. We only have to rely on the vision and the insight. And see if, you know, two things don't align with each other. It's the afternoon, the day before the rite. Do we know, like, at what time the alarm plays? Between 12 and 3 p.m. Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Someone was there, and the theme to the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused plunged her knife into the defenseless victim's neck. The blade struck true, and in that instant he parted from this world. Okay. Is it just the fact that there's this heavy sensation that we've yet to explain? Right? Heavy touch.
Objection!
Yes, is the same inconsistent with the vision? Inconsistent? I think not. Exactly. That's where the inconsistency lies.
No, I believe it is in the device's thought process that the inconsistency lies.
Arg, guess there wasn't an inconsistency there after all.
I don't know. We're back to square one again. What's wrong with any of this? Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Yes, that's correct. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Yes. Someone was there, and the theme to the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused plunged her knife into the defenseless victim's neck. Blade struck true, and that instant departed from this world. What else is there to talk about? Was it the fact that if he was hiding, he's not praying. He's, for some reason, he has his hands on the stone slab. Why? Yeah. Why is he sticking his hands on the stone slab? It's almost like he was collaborating with someone else. Why would someone be standing in a secret rebel hideout, randomly pressing his hands against a mossy stone? Okay, sound.
Objection!
No? Okay. I guess I'm just overthinking this. Must be something more simpler than this. I can't find any inconsistencies, Maya. Don't give up yet, Nick. I mean, what about the insight? You know, the one that said the victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Something about that doesn't seem to match up with the deceased's sensations. I see what you mean. Let's compare the victim's sensations to that particular insight. What? Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Okay. The fuck is the problem? I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get what's going on here. Why? The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer, but he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come... This is the second time that the answer turned out to be the same one I had in mind. Stupid.
Yes, I see your point.
Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down.
Eve! Then tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim?
What caused the heavy sensations Zeh'lot felt? Any thoughts, Maya? I agree. That sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also the matter of Zeh'lot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there? Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation?
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us?
Of course. I just envisioned the state Zeh'lot was in when he was killed. The cause of the heaviness the victim felt was... The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath.
What?
Oh! The stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath. Right. That was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt. While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death. Rather, he was stabbed. Oh, yeah! Would you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him? Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have been both crushed together.
Well, would you care to explain?
Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within. Yeah, there's not much space by the entrance, is there? So, what was the real murder weapon then? I better think of something. If the murder weapon wasn't the dagger, then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy report doesn't mention that. Then he must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger. Would the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century? Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Something that had a shape similar to the war-bat dagger?
Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright.
This shows what really killed the victim. Is it the beak of the statue? The beak of the bird?
Is this not the photo from the scene of the high priest's murder? Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein?
This is what really took Puhray Zeh'lot alive.
Take that!
Meow.
But that is
The war-bat statue? Exactly. The war-bat statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. Oh. That is what really took the victim's life. You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside of the hideout. How do you propose it impaled someone who is inside? Haven't you heard? The war-bat statue also functions as the hideout's door. What do you mean? The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. A switcheroo? To put it simply, it's a revolving door.
a revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense.
Therefore, I believe the truth behind the Divination Séance to be this. He killed himself. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He threw up his hand to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbat statue was right behind him. This can't be! But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger. She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it.
This is a shocking turn of events, but there is a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbat statue was what killed the victim.
Now that we know how Acolyte Zeh'lot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The Divination Séance is the only truth. No, Your Benevolence. It is not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so that they can interpret your insides. But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time.
Eunice, are you unwell? Oh, the color has dried from your face.
I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me.
As you wish.
I felt kind of bad for her.
Noted. I would have the defense continue.
Alright. Excuse me for a minute, I'll be right back. Alright then. So, we managed to prove that not only was Puhray Zeh'lot, aka, what was his real name? Real Nemu. I don't know what that's a pun on. Real Nemo. Real name. Alright. Real Nemo. So Puhray Zeh'lot, aka Real Nemo, was killed when a stone slab fell on him and pushed him down into falling into a sharp statue. So I guess it's possible that someone on the other side pushed that stone slab. And also, I am a little bit inquisitive as to how this supposedly this stone slab that supposedly fell down is somehow back up again like nothing happened. That is definitely a cause for concern. Alright.
Now then, I would have the defense to continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died.
Acolyte Zeh'lot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbat dagger was thrust into him. To make it look like the murder weapon.
That does seem to agree with what we now know. But why would the real killer go to such lengths?
I believe stabbing Acolyte Zeh'lot's body with a dagger and moving into the plaza was... It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right. The real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case.
They did?
That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese your foreigners so enjoy. What? Like those putrid hole-riddled clumps of cares that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid hole-riddled brain, is putrefied. What's his deal with things going putrid? You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes the truth as follows.
Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the riot, but Acolyte Zeh'lot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest.
I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life.
When the high priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him. I believe Pascutus Atmati has posed a compelling scenario. The defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Objection!
Why would my client move Acolyte Zeh'lot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of the things.
The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the something along the lines of Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons. So that is why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see.
No, you just do. I thought I'd finally made some headway.
Well, Mr. Wright, it's about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not?
Groan of distress. It kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya.
Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace. A dead lawyer walking indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Crane? But I must admit I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. I had said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. But I now realize the stench was from his own putrid body, on the verge of death.
Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zeh'lot the day before the riot?
Who knew about the rebel hideout and could gain access to the inner sanctum? Only those involved with the riot can enter the sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout, and the only person who was involved with the riot had access to the sanctum. And was suspected of being a rebel is... Ah! Did somebody come to mind?
Yes, except there's one huge problem.
A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hole? I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Sadmati will have this one in the bag. I'll just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Puhray Zeh'lot's murder. Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. No, there is one person who knew everything.
Does such a thing actually exist? Tell us, who might that be?
I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zeh'lot's murder is...
Take that!
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum and who knew of the hideout. And that would be the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the riot.
You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they tell no tales. Have you no shame?
Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. If only the High Priest could tell his side of the story. What? Do I have something on my face? Wait a second. Could this actually work?
Oh no, don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth.
No. There's even the slightest possibility I'll have to go with it. Your Majesty, dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony.
His testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify?
There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as... Summon him here by means of spirit channeling.
What did he just say?
Spirit channeling. Has his life finally gone insane?
There's a sacrilegious. By the Holy Mother, strike him down.
Peace. I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform. And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure.
I suspected as much. That means our only hope is...
That means our only hope is... It's okay, Nick. You can tell them. But Maya, I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Korea.
Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts. I don't think we'll be punished. At least, I hope not. But this is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become Master of Korea. We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming Master of Korea.
Alright, thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits. But even her benevolence, Princess Rayfa, finds the Divination Séance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen?
That would be me.
Is this some sort of a joke? I thought I could not possibly have such power. Even the royal princess is capable of such a feat. Peace! Peace, I say! Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling?
Well, yes. Yes, I can.
Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. Your Benevolence?
This is an outrage. An outrage, I say. First, you make a mockery of the Divination Séance, and now, spirit channeling? Your Benevolence speaks the truth! Spirit channeling is a secret rare!
Four devils, I say they should be put to death immediately.
Still your voices! Bobdead, spirit channeling is the most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose? Yes, I am.
Your Benevolence, are you saying you approve of the use of spirit channeling?
I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot.
Very well then. Your Benevolence? What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit?
Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits?
Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure, as I am responsible for the safety of all present.
Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit, but do not fear, for I have a Magatalma of parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power.
That is a relief indeed.
These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Admari? Perfectly, Your Benevolence.
Very well. The accused may channel the High Priest's spirit. But first, we must take a short recess to prepare. We will resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Until then, this court is adjourned. To be continued.